Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing full moon in Capricorn, July 21st prediction for all 12 signs. I'm going to try to keep it brief, but I do think it's a pretty important full moon, so let's talk about this. So, as I'm recording this, actually, it's a hot July day and I'm drinking my first pumpkin spice latte this year. I made it at home. I couldn't wait anymore. And I think it's very fitting, this video, for some reason, because even though it is the middle of July, for a lot of us, this moment right now with this full moon in Capricorn does feel like a major milestone. It almost feels like we've been working so hard on something, we finally start seeing, hopefully, some kind of results. Or we can start seeing how maybe something we've worked towards in the past is now preparing us for the next stage of our evolution. Now, there's a few things I want to mention about this full moon, and of course something I want you guys to keep in mind that of course this is more general. If you want a personalized consultation, links how to book it is in the description box, and you can find anything else you might need in the description box as well. Now, first thing first, this is the second full moon of Capricorn this year. So we had the full moon of Capricorn, the first one in the very beginning of the sign, on June 21st. And if you watched my July and my June horoscopes, you probably remember that something that I advised, something that I suggested in the time period from June 21st to July 21st is to focus your efforts on something you want to grow. If you're unhappy with your work, this is the time where you can so-called shift timelines. There are new opportunities of, for work, for vocation, for, self-actualization will present themselves if only you actually keep focusing on that area of your life. So I told you guys, if it's possible to focus the time period of June 21st to July 21st on working, level up, glow up, whatever it is you need. And those of you who followed my advice, which by the way, I myself was following this advice this time around as well, you guys see that something has occurred in the time period between June 21st to July 21st where maybe opportunities for new job presented themselves, maybe new career opportunities, maybe new opportunities to shift gears in some way. Or maybe, if you are not changing anything, it could be just that, finally you're out of the rut. Finally, maybe business was kind of slow. Again, it's speeding up. So there was this opportunity in between these two full moons of Capricorn to significantly change and improve something related to work, to your career, to your social status, even for some of you. So hopefully you guys see some results right now. Now, something else I want to mention here is that, of course, this full moon is at 29th degree, the last degree of Capricorn. And even though it is not exactly conjunct Pluto, it is conjunct out of sign. Pluto is right now retrograding back into Capricorn. It's still in Aquarius. However, the conjunction to Pluto, the closeness to Pluto is something a lot of you will feel, which is why this is the full moon that might feel more intense for a lot of people. Whenever any planet is close in aspect to Pluto, this is where there is more intensity. This is where a lot of things, Pluto, is this underworld energy, the god of underworld, so to say, right? So anything that's been hidden from you, anything that you maybe have hidden from yourself is coming to the surface with this full moon. And of course, different people will feel this in a different way. So those of you who've been hiding something from yourself, if you've not been honest with yourself, this is the kind of full moon time period where you might, there might be some break tower moments, right? When you've been lying to yourself about you're unhappy in this work or in this marriage or whatever it is, unhappy with something. And if you're lying to yourself, if you're not honest with yourself, this is the kind of moments where universe, so to say, through this astrological configurations, through this, I think of astrology as this code, so to say, of the universe, this is the kind of moment where the universe will send some kind of tower moment for you to get honest with yourself. Now, of course, if you're a person who've been proactively approaching this, if you've listened to my advice in the previous videos, which I've spoke so much about this, given Mars-Uranus conjunction that we just had, South Node in Libra, that it's time to get honest where we've been people pleasing, where we've been not true to ourselves. And if you've been proactively approaching this, then I don't think that there is going to be necessarily any crazy, surprise here. That it's time to change, and this full moon actually could give you an opportunity to actively, you know, shift into your new desired results, your new desired reality. Especially as well if you, again, like I told you in June and July horoscopes, if you've been using the time period from June 21st to July 21st to actively, you know, work on maybe exploring new opportunities with work, studying something, you know, proactively changing yourself in some way, actually you might even start seeing results as soon as this full moon right now. It might be like, wow, everything I've been doing, now I finally see. This has been leading me up to this moment. And it can be very pleasant, actually. It could be very much like, wow, so much available to me, and I can actually make so many things happen for myself so quickly. Wow. It gives me this feeling like, wow, finally I'm in the right place at the right time. Everything is aligning. Right people, new opportunities, whatever it is you're searching for. It's one of those things where you're like, oh, if only I had a person who worked in this and that place, or a person who is expert at XYZ, or some kind of technology that could help me, you know, accomplish what I want. And the second you think about this, there is this energy that's still going to be potent even in August, where everything aligns. You find what you want, whether it's the resource, whether it's the connection. But again, it only happens this way if you've actively, you know, been working, aligning yourself with this new timeline. So there's kind of like this, I guess this full moon has this timeline shift vibe as well, you know, given also it's trying to Neptune, given also, sorry, not trying to Neptune, sextile to Neptune, given also that Mars Uranus are still active. Actually, I'm recording this exactly at the moment of conjunction, and there is this energy here where it's almost like you can master your individual matrix right now. And you know, it's interesting because like as I'm recording this, I noticed something this morning about like my life, even where I live, how there are certain people I'm almost like not sure, are they real or not? Like in Miami, like I wake up and there's this one neighbor who is literally always standing in one specific place, you know, where I live, like in our neighborhood. There is this one lady who always does loops at a specific time, like in a specific way. It's almost like, you know, I'm not saying that, oh, those are like NPCs or something, but like sometimes like our reality does feel so much like a matrix. Like there are moments where it's even more so visible. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but not to digress. No, there is something where matrix is, you know, a bit cracking with this full moon too. You start seeing maybe through the code that's there. Yeah, definitely there is a vibe like that. Also, of course, people who are gonna feel it the most are gonna be cardinal signs around 29 degrees, Capricorn, Cancer, Libra, or Aries. So if you have those, of course, you're gonna feel it much more than other placements. Could be those shifts that I'm describing here could be much more potent in your life. What else do I want to say here? Yeah, definitely like one of those shifting timelines moments for sure. And I want you also to think about what's been happening for you right around this time, maybe a year ago. Now that time was not maybe the best for a lot of people. I actually see that astrology is being very dark right around July 20th 2023. To me personally, this seemed like a more dark astrological time period, and this was the time where of course we had the last time Sun in opposition to Pluto in Capricorn. Also right around July 11th, sorry, not July 11th, January 11th of this year, 2024. I want to say that this was the time of new moon of Capricorn, if I'm not mistaken. Pay attention to what's been taking place right around those times, because those were also kind of like timeline shift opportunities, you know, the more potent ones, so to say. And something around the themes that's been taking place around that time could either culminate, or there could be opportunity to shift, transcend, transform that. Something like that. Like there could be some opportunities to change something that maybe you initiated around that time, or you see some kind of results. There's essentially like opportunity to transcend, to see results maybe of something you initiated around those dates. For some of you, there could be a feeling like your abundance doubles right now. Again, those people who especially been actively putting the work, the effort, you see more clarity in terms of your career direction, regardless of what sign you are. Because Capricorn for everybody is in some shape or form a significant of work, career, status. So I don't know what else to add here, to be honest. Oh yeah, the other thing I want to add, of course, is that we had this journey of Pluto as well in Capricorn from 2008, I want to say, until this year. Pluto is about to retrograde back into Capricorn, and there's definitely, this is one of the full moons which kind of talks about this 16-year period where, okay, what transpired during the last 16 years? What have you learned, right, in various areas of your lives? It's kind of interesting, actually, for me. It's very interesting for me because 2008 was the first time I ever, I didn't move to the United States in 2008, but this was the first time I visited New York in summer for a summer program, and then I moved in 2009. So yeah, it's like, it's for me, this Pluto in Capricorn, like definitely this whole journey was about big shift in my life, for sure, like where like I moved countries, I traveled a lot, I studied a lot, and Pluto in Aquarius, I'm honestly excited for it. Like I'm already seeing some interesting developments with Pluto in Aquarius next 12 years, 14 years, I forgot exactly how many years it's gonna stay there, but yeah, I mean, I actually personally like this full moon a lot. I don't think that it's that negative or that bad. Yes, we will see certain structures crumbling around the world, especially when it comes to political maybe figures and things like this, more so in a way where we can see certain power is ending, like they cannot lie anymore. We can see very clearly, through a lot of manipulation, darkness, which was the point of Pluto in Capricorn transit, right, to reveal what's been hidden, and a lot of it did come to the surface in the next 16 years. So I find it interesting. I think it's already happening where we can see just like the deception, lies, and even people who were denying that, I think, are seeing this much more clearly with certain events that transpired so far already. Okay, let's go now to the 12 signs, and I will briefly mention how this full moon is likely to affect you. There's going to be timestamp provided. Again, you guys, if you like this video, give this video a big thumbs up. Personal consultations are available, which are more tailor-made to your individual chart, less general. Check for your rising sign first, check for your sun sign second, and for your moon sign third, so you can check all three. Something I also do is I check for my relocated ascendant at whichever country I find myself, at the moment. So yeah, love you all, guys. I hope it's going to be amazing full moon for you, and let's go to your individual signs. Okay, so for Aries rising, this is the full moon in your 10th house, so there could be some major milestone when it comes to career. Some of you might see your career path forward much more in a much more clear way. Maybe, like, I know quite a few Aries rising friends who are understanding that it's time for promotion now, or actually recently have gained some kind of promotion. As a result of this promotion, you might feel better about yourself in some way. You might actually feel like, wow, I'm going places in life. If you guys have not received promotion yet, this could be the time where you will realize that it's time for a major level up when it comes to career. There will be that sense like, you know what, I need to do much better than whatever I'm currently doing. It's time for me to really go for my full potential. Of course, those of you who will feel it the most are going to be Aries who are, more either later born or with placements in later degrees. But yeah, for you, it's all about career. And especially, of course, with your ruling planet Mars being conjunct Uranus now in your second house, which you feel a lot, there is that sense like you can do better, you can do more. Like there is a sense of like, you need to either ask for more, you need to make more, or you just start, seeing yourself in that way where you start respecting yourself more, you start understanding that maybe it's time for the jump forward, for level up, for, improvement, like, salary increase, something like that. So that's what I'm seeing for Aries. Okay, Taurus risings and Taurus sun and moon. Oh my God, I hope you guys are okay with Mars and Uranus conjunction in your sign. Of course, not all of you feel it equally, but I think at the time of this full moon, you will still be very, very much under the effect of Mars and Uranus conjunction, especially those of you born from around May 14 to May 19-ish. Everyone with planets from 23 to 28, 29 degrees of Taurus, and the full moon in Capricorn. I think there is going to be the sense of, okay, now it makes sense to me. What is going to make sense to you? I'm not quite sure. It could be just in general, where maybe you made some mistakes in the past, where maybe something within your belief system needed to tweak in order for you to gain desired results, because this full moon is in your 9th house. So 9th house has to do with travel, long distance journeys, education, belief systems, guru, just in general kind of like big picture of your life, like bird's eye view. And I think that honestly, given that this full moon isn't trine to Mars Uranus and it is sextile Neptune, I think something is just gonna click. In, again, whatever needs to be tweaked with your belief systems. Some of your themes of relocation could come up. For some of you, something you need to learn, to study. For some of you, your own beliefs maybe that no longer serve you, that you are changing now. In general, it's a good full moon for Taurus. So pay attention to what's happening now, because definitely, given Mars and Uranus are still active, there is you are inspired to think bigger. Some of you, maybe again, you were very comfortable in the past few years, as much as Uranus was trying to push you towards the uncomfortable. For a lot of you, you were very comfortable at that job, in that relationship, in that, situation you are in. And right now there is a sense of okay, time for me to play, with big boys. I don't know what this means, but yes, time to play with big boys, big girls, whatever this means. It's a level up journey. It's the more you are willing to do what scares you, I think, at this moment, and not just cling to comfort, which is kind of like the dark side of Taurus. That, I'm a Taurus sun, so I know very well this energy. We are inclined to cling to comfort, to a lovely couch, Uber Eats. I don't know why I mentioned Uber Eats, but the more we are taking risk and are not scared to be gossiped about, even judged, the more we can actually become that visionary. One of the artists I really like right now is doing a lot of disruptive things in the art space, and there are a lot of people who talk about this artist negatively. However, this is a person who is taking risks. They are doing things never done before. And that's why it works, because instead of clinging to comfort, they are actively getting themselves out of that comfort zone. So that's why it works. Now, let's talk about Gemini. Geminis, for you, the full moon of Capricorn is going to be in your 8th house. So this could be an intense full moon for Geminis, actually, not gonna lie, especially later born Geminis, because something might just, happen out of sudden. 8th house has to do with sudden transformations, sudden events, shared resources, your fears, your own possessive part of you, part of you where you might be a little bit fearful, possessive, but also where you can really transform yourself. Something could come to the surface about this, maybe some paranoia of yours. Hopefully, hopefully it's not going to be this bad. Some fear of yours could come to the surface. I actually recommend for Gemini placements to do the Bene Gesserit litany against fear around this full moon. If you don't know what litany against fear is, look it up. It's from Dune. I must not fear. Fear is the mind killer. It's very intense, but very good, actually. It works. I've personally said litany against fear a few times in my life, and it was interesting. But yeah, there is good. I would say Geminis, again, depending, this is where we need to know your entire chart. Be more careful right around this time. Try not to, take any risk, engage in any risky activities, especially because Mars Uranus is in your 12th. So there's definitely, for Geminis, there is increased risks of something happening that you didn't see coming. However, for a lot of you, it's likely going to play out more so on a psychological level. Both 12th and 8th house deal with psychological breakthroughs, where something you might have not been aware in your subconscious could come to the surface now to purge. Also, if you guys are traveling right now, there could be something that happens through travel. While you are traveling, there could be some intense experience taking place. So yeah, it could be some intense experience while traveling, for sure. What else do I want to say here? Even your ruling planet Mercury is about also to come into a square with Uranus. So definitely, Gemini, try to be more careful and try to not, provoke other people, not get provoked. Hopefully, if somebody provokes you, take a step back. But for a lot of you, a lot of psychological transformation could happen right around this full moon in Capricorn. Now, let's talk about Cancerians. For Cancerians, full moon in Capricorn in your 7th house. This could be a big one, actually, for Cancerians, because Cancerian is ruled by the moon, and it's in your, relationship house. Those of you who are later born Cancerians, you might, of course, feel it a lot more than others. And for Cancerians, I think everyone will feel it, of course, the later born will feel it more. There is a big closure of a program when it comes to relationships that was active from 2008, as early as that. So for some cancerians, you might have been a person who was clinging so hard to a certain relationship or to a certain outcome in the relationship, like you had this vision how it needs to happen in an XYZ way. I'm telling you, with this full moon, you might suddenly change your mind. You might suddenly be like, okay, maybe I know some cancerians like that who are like, I don't believe in divorce. I will fight to keep the marriage going no matter what. There are people like that. Even if there is issues, they are cheated on, they are not being appreciated, the person is simply wrong for them. I've seen this many times with cancerians where they will cling to that relationship no matter what. Not always like everyone is like that, but again, statistically, there are certain statistics. So, of course, your personal chart plays a role here. There could be just suddenly where you're like, you know what? Even though all my life I thought that I'm going to be the one who would never get divorced or whatever, actually, I'm done. For some of you, it could be. For some of you, of course, it's very specific. It could just be also a shift of mindset when it comes to partnerships, relationships. Something like, again, there is a culmination moment and there is an opportunity to change and shift gears, shift to a different reality. Jupiter is in Gemini in your 12th house now, and Mars is about to go there too. There might have been something that you already started feeling where you are ready to let go. You were not ready before, but you are ready now. If you still don't feel this energy after this full moon, it's very likely that you're going to start feeling this. You will feel it very strongly. And again, if there are some chapters you need to close when it comes to partnerships, relationships, even like, business partnerships, not necessarily romantic. Even business partnerships, not necessarily romantic. There's definitely some interesting shift that's taking place. Now, let's talk about Leo risings, also Sun and Moon. Full moon in your 6th house. Do pay extra attention to health right now. But at the same time, with 6th house, there could be a culmination with things related to your health, your work, co-workers, pets. To take care of those right around the full moon like that. The Sun is in Cancer, which is out of sign, opposite Pluto. It will actually make an opposition in your sign of Leo, just in a few days. Intense energy, I'll be honest. I would be actually careful around my health at this time. Again, nothing too crazy is likely to happen, but of course, this is why we practice astrology. We want to use our discernment and we want to protect ourselves from unnecessary situations that could be easily avoided. Mercury, Venus are still in your sign, in Leo, about to also square Uranus. So I feel like, again, there could be some unexpected things for Leos taking place around this time. I would recommend, prioritizing healthy lifestyle right now, healthy lifestyle choices, taking care of your both physical and mental health. Try to find that work-life balance, work-play balance. For some of you, might actually let go of some habit of yours that's not very healthy. And actually, interesting, I'm recording this and there is a little lizard running towards me. Lizards, I believe, do have to do with the regenerative powers. Look up, honestly, what lizard means in your culture, because it could be specific meaning for you. I do think some kind of regenerative energy is available. So if you want to focus, on your health as well, more balance, mind, body balance, whatever, this energy is available definitely for Leos right now. And of course, there could be some unexpected situations here and there. So prioritize balance at this time. Alrighty, Virgos, full moon in your 5th house. For some of you, yes, you could be releasing a career, creative project, could be something very creative at this time. Like you worked on this a long time. Finally, you have clarity on, you're ready to release it. Could be that. If not, if maybe you're more in the early stages of working on something or even having clarity in terms of what you want to do with your creativity. And again, creativity could mean actual art, or it could be just your creations, business, even children. 5th house connects to those. There will be clarity about that. Maybe again, you're more in the beginning stages of working on something. There will be clarity how you could do things maybe in a different way. Maybe since 2008, you've been working on things. I don't know, you've been a musician, visual artist, and things worked for you, things were not so bad, but you have not achieved, so to say, the notoriety or even your, fulfillment of your potential. There is going to be, through Pluto, which is in Aquarius now, an understanding maybe how you utilize new technologies, new resources to gain, to achieve your goals. Actually, it's interesting, I'm a Virgo moon, and I've been very much studying technology, studying new possibilities with technologies when it comes to music, visual arts, and different things like this in the past I don't know, very actively in the past month, past few weeks especially, right around this Mars-Uranus conjunction. So definitely something there. Also at the same time, there is a closure of programming when it comes to your romantic life, how you see maybe even love, joy, pleasure. Some of you might understand that actually you do not have to separate your fun, pleasure, playtime from your career as much. Like there's going to be something where essentially there's going to be a lot more of not even balance, I don't know, like things flowing one into another, where you can live an amazing life and you don't have to like separate yourself, your career self from your what you do. Like everything can flow together. I hope it makes sense to you. But there is a vibe like that taking place. Something intense could be taking place in the lives of your romantic partners or children as well, for those of you who have those. Again, of course, depends on other aspects of your chart. I don't want to say there is like specific events happening, because like it would depend. But yeah, definitely something. It's in trine to you. So Capricorn is trine Virgo. It's another earth sign. So it's more harmonious, I would say, for most Virgos. Now, let's talk about Libra. Libra is a cardinal sign. So yes, you Libras, do be a little bit more careful during this full moon, especially if you have planets right around the 29th degree, because you guys could feel this a lot. And for you, it's happening in the area of home, of family, your property. So be extra careful with those, again, especially if you have 29th degree activated. Something could fundamentally change with some of you. Could honestly even sell a property. Could be. It's actually interesting. I have some Libra relatives who I know have been wanting to sell something, so we'll see what happens there. It could be an intense feeling like, life is changing. Maybe you're considering to move even. It could be something like that. Venus, your ruling planet at this moment, is in the sign of Leo too. So for a lot of you, again, there is something where you want to make sure your voice is heard at this moment. You don't want to silence yourself. So something intense in the area of family could be taking place. Maybe even an ending of sorts. Yes, it's an intense, definitely. Libra is one of the signs that feels it more intense. So, fingers crossed everything's going to be okay. Now, let's talk about Scorpio. For Scorpio, full moon in Capricorn in the 3rd house. I actually think it's more harmonious for most Scorpios. There could be an intense realization of something related to, I know the 3rd house, usually, we talk about this as a house that's related to just logical mind, but in my opinion, 3rd house is also very connected to mental health. Yes, 12th house and 6th house axis is more so connected to physical and mental health, but in my opinion, 3rd house is very, very much something that, it's your actual how you're thinking day to day, your daily thoughts, your daily conversations with yourself and with people around you. Your daily, part of it is, yes, your daily habits too. It's social media. So, of course, it is very connected to mental health, and there could be some mental health. Hopefully not a crisis. I actually had a bit of a crisis Monday night, I think, because energy was too intense. But I also had a bit of a breakthrough as well at that time, like where, just like saying certain affirmations, calming myself down really helped. So I recommend actually for Scorpio risings to examine your thoughts. How they serving you during this time? How can you think more in your favor? Very often what we think, even when you say like, oh, dating pool sucks, this planet sucks, that's something you're affirming daily, that's true or not. It does become more of something, reality that's more set in stone for you, the reality you're choosing for yourself, right? So examining how you talk to yourself daily, challenging maybe some of your beliefs and thoughts could be something that's taking place during this full moon. But also something that I do recommend for Scorpios especially is make sure during this time you can say some affirmations that are positive for you, that are soothing, that are comforting, that are grounding. Also, for those of you who work in social media, marketing, media, which is a lot of people, there could be clarity regarding that. There could be an understanding, oh, okay, I know how to do this thing now. So if you have any kind of social media business or you use actively social media for that, there is definitely some kind of clarity clarity or culmination, intense understanding of how to do things better that could be taking place during this full moon. If you have siblings, cousins, there could be some intense events in the lives of your siblings, cousins, or neighbors. Again, doesn't have to be anything bad. Could be just some changes that they're going through. Okay, so let's talk about Sagittarius now. Sagittarius, this is the full moon that's taking place in your second house of resources, money you make, self-worth, the way you see yourself, talents as well. So there could be a realization regarding these things taking place right now. There could be some milestone maybe you will even be achieving. There could be, for some of you who've been working very hard on something, feeling like, okay, I'm ready to, move to the next bracket in terms of money and finances, and understanding also, I'm progressed Sagittarius rising, and I have to say recently I had a big aha moment about money, about how I myself do not work to my advantage when it comes to money, like overspend and other different things. There was, a major understanding recently. I know, again, there's other things that contributed to that, but I think for a lot of Sagittarius risings, there's going to be this, I gotta do something a bit different when it comes to money. Maybe it's time to really, challenge, the way I've been approaching this subject in my life, so to say. So yeah, and like I said before, especially you guys who've been working very hard recently, this is the full moon that might even be like a reaping of the harvest. So good luck, Sagittarius. I hope it's a good one. Okay, Capricorns. Of course, the full moon in your sign. You had Pluto in your sign for so many years now, and it's about to come back. Not yet, but not this month yet, but it's coming back, and you feel it. I think you feel its comeback. Of course, those of you who will especially feel this full moon are going to be those with 29th degree of Capricorn, or right around that time. So later born Capricorn, so planets, around 26 to 29th degree of Capricorn. Even some early born Aquarius will feel it too, I want to say. And I feel like you might finally, conclude a chapter of your life that has to do a lot with identity. You might start fully understanding who you are, because sometimes when somebody asks you who you are you, right? You will say your job, you will say how many kids or not kids you have, your relationship, something you do, something you like. But do you really understand who are you underneath it all? You are a consciousness, your expression of divinity, right? You are a perspective. What are you? The questions like this might actually pop up during this time. Could be very, very interesting. Actually, let me know, Capricorns, what are you experiencing here? There's something definitely that could feel like, wow, this moment feels big. Of course, try to stay away from any, again, risky activities. You might have a bit of an emotional breakthrough, hopefully not breakdown, but sometimes breakthrough comes after a breakdown. Be safe during this time. Again, I don't foresee there needs to be specific combination of astrology for some negative actual event to be triggered, and even that you can usually take precautions and hopefully avoid that. But yeah, Capricorns, this does feel like a big chapter closing, like culmination. You finally reach certain point of your hero's journey. It does feel like on this hero's journey, you have reached certain milestone. And whether you see this in terms of results, let's just say money, career, something you've learned or not, maybe again, it's not physical, that expression, maybe it's something internal. You will see something. Pay attention to what happens to you. Again, especially those of you later born Capricorns or later degrees of Capricorn. Pay attention to what happens during this full moon, because it almost like you have completed part of your journey. Now the clue, so to say, for the next chapter, for the next level of the hero's journey is going to be revealed. What is this clue? What is this clue that you're going to, find? Let me know in the comments what's going on. Okay, now with Aquariuses who were born early, or who are in the first few degrees of Aquarius, I would say first 4 degrees, if we want to be generous. You guys are going to feel this full moon as almost as it's happening in your sign. Because, Capricorn's gone through this hero's journey of Pluto in their sign. Now it's your turn. It's your turn. It's kind of, it's like some of you guys who have been following me for a long time, you guys know that I'm very much a fan of fantasy, writing. I really love, one of my favorite books and favorite movies of all time is Lord of the Rings. Tolkien actually was INFP like me. I don't know if it's confirmed he was INFP, if he actually took the test, or if it's been decided by, community. But it reminds me of how, there's Lord of the Rings, right? And then there is what, Hobbit. I actually started watching it last night. So I don't know, this is such an odd example, but like to me the whole like Pluto Capricorn, Pluto in Aquarius reminds me of how Bilbo Baggins, right, had the ring, and then Frodo had the ring, and the movies also, like there's different hero journeys that they're showing. Odd example, I know, but there's something about it. Let me know how it resonates. But yeah, for a lot of you, of course, it's happening still in your 12th house, but you feel like you are, you know, something, events maybe in your subconscious, like something's happening in your subconscious, or events that are happening around you, which you maybe not seeing fully, but like it's happening maybe a bit of behind your back or somewhere around you. You start feeling how something's about to go, something's happening, like you are actively participating in the scheme of events that you might not fully understand what it has to do with. Again, like if it's not your reading today, it's not your reading, but again, it reminds me of even how, like when in the first chapter of Hobbit, how all the dwarves come into Bilbo Baggins' house, and he doesn't even know why the hell he is part of this process, but they just select him as a thief, come with us, you know, to slay the dragon or whatever the intention was. So I don't know. I don't have a better example, honestly. I'm sorry, Aquarius. That's the best I can do. I mean, jokes aside, really, it could be something that's happening in the background, and maybe, again, looking at how Mercury, Venus are right now in Leo in your 7th house, it has to do with other people. Probably, like there's something that has to do with other people, and you go on some quests right now, which are your quests too, but somehow it maybe happens through other people. There is a connection like that, and you will gain somehow something through some of these quests. So very interesting. Let me know what's happening for you, Aquarius, because definitely it is an interesting energy that's unfolding. So let me know for sure. Like something creative could be taking place right now. You could be very inspired, maybe finding your creative edge somehow at this moment. Yeah, definitely an interesting energy. Okay, last but not least, Pisceans. So full moon in Capricorns taking place in your 11th house. And you know what's funny? I'm recording your video, you're the last sign, and I was sitting, like I sit on the ground usually by the tree when I do these videos. It's my rare opportunities to record videos, you know, outside of the house. Tarot usually I record inside in my kitchen, for those of you who were wondering. And it's, you know, I was sitting and my like left leg fell asleep for a moment, you know, when you sit uncomfortably, and I had to like beat it, so to say, so that it, you know, it comes back, so to say, you know, into range of motion. But I don't know what it is about, but I think for you, there's going to be like an understanding of where are you when it comes to the process, maybe like your track on your goals in life, your journey in life, who your real friends are, which goals are realistic, which goals maybe, you know, like it's time to readjust something like a culmination when it comes to your goals in life, a milestone. I actually have a few Piscean friends who like accomplished something, like an award, you know. An award could be granted to you, some kind of award maybe you've been working towards for a long time. A major milestone could be different things, a house, an award, promotion, you know, understanding also who are your real friends, who are not, understanding what's the next chapter look like now that you achieved maybe, you know, something you were going towards for such a long time. Where do you go from here? So for Pisceans, definitely an interesting, very fruitful, I want to say, full moon, because it's in the 11th house of gains, of long-term goals, friendships, communities. A feeling of a milestone for sure, something you might have been working from as early as 2008. And now it's like, okay, that's what I have. I've, you know, worked so hard for it. Now it's here. So it's a good feeling, I feel like, for most Pisceans. Yeah, especially because like Saturn is in your sign, which is the dispositor of this moon, full moon. So yeah, it might be like literally something you have been working for a long time, and now there is this major milestone. Like you've reached the milestone. So congratulations, Pisces. I don't know what you're going to be celebrating. It might be actually a celebratory full moon that feels very like intense. Let me know in the comments. Anyway, you guys, that's all I have for you. I don't know how brief these horoscopes are. I actually wanted this to be like a very short, like less than 30 minutes video. Probably I have not, you know, I have not achieved that with this video, but I do hope you enjoyed it. If you enjoyed it, give this video a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. I'm gonna try to do more videos like this. There's also my other channel you can subscribe to, which is I'm experimenting still what to post there. Personalized consultations are also available as of this moment. They are a lot more accurate. They are on your birth chart. If you know your birth time, I think you should definitely do at least once a consultation for your birth chart. Thank you so much. As always, I appreciate you guys. I love you all. I'm wishing you amazing full moon. Love you all. We'll talk soon. Bye.